Well guys, today we're going to be doing a couple more things to the suspension and the steering on the Defender 90. The first thing I'm going to do is match our suspension with an Old Man Emu steering damper. Now this is not a heavy duty steering damper, but it has got a big bore, so it's a lot more durable. It's brand new, obviously the bushes are all new. This one's 15 years old, so definitely needs an upgrade. And then after that, I'm actually going to fit some Mantec wheel spacers. We've done this on every vehicle we've had, all the Defenders and the Discovery 3s, and I think it's a really good upgrade. It's a 30mm spacer. Now what's that going to do to help us? Well, moving forward, we do want a wider stance on this Defender, just because we've lowered it an inch. We want to give it a nice sort of presence on the road, as it were. But also, I'm getting loads of rubbing on my tyres because they're so big on full lock, and I think this will help in the interim. So we're going to get some new wheels on in the next week or two. But for now, I've got a big trip down to Norfolk, so I'm going to get the wheel spacers on, get the steering damper on, and then I'll get a good understanding of how the vehicle drives on the road at speed, etc., so I can make any adjustments I want to before we put the wheels on. So let's get cracking and get this old steering damper off. Now this isn't too bad, it hasn't corroded badly, but it's definitely quite an old one. So you've got these two bushes that sit either side of the mounting point on the vehicle, and then you have these two 17mm nuts, which I think will get new ones in the hardware. But essentially what you're doing is you tighten it up on one and you compress the bushes, and then when you've done that you can then lock it with the top one as well, so you're locking it onto there. It's a lot bigger. Oh, you can see that with it. Let me give you a sticker. Ooh, nice little sticker. Shame it's knackered. Right, and then we get all our new hardware. So we've got the bush cups, two new bushes. Right, you see there we've got our little tube, and that is slightly catching, so I just need to file that down a little bit. This wheel's going to come off. I'm going to have a look at that track rod end, see if that's an easy job, which I'm sure it is. And then we're also going to put the spacers around the vehicle. I'll just show you this one, you get an idea what it looks like. Now technically this is not a track rod end because that's at the back of the axle assembly. This is a ball joint. So same thing, same part number. Now this is actually a right hand thread. They do come in right or left depending on whether you're putting them on the right or left of the vehicle, but it's opposite. If that makes any sense at all, so just check you're ordering the right one. Now don't undo it completely. I'm going to knock it out of the knuckle. So, well, that was a lot easier than I thought. I did have one of these I was going to show you, but now we have to loosen this in order to unscrew the track rod end, or the ball joint I should say, and we need to count the thread out. So right, so you've actually got a split in this rod and that compresses over it, but I don't think it's going to go easily. A bit of heat, some lube, and tapped it round. 3 turns, 4, 5, 35.5, but you can see where it's sat to. As I said, this is a right hand thread. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. New crown nut, new split pin and a new washer. Now you've got to get it lined up with the hole, obviously. Here's my split pin. Okay, so we're ready to go for wheel spacing. Just going to give these a clean up. Anti-seize. So we'll put some on the studs as well. Now these are hub centric, and what that means is they've got support on the inside here for the wheel, so we should be all good to go. Now, because the studs are now part of the actual wheel spacer itself, these need to be copper slipped, because we've not put threads on these yet. If you want to, you can also put a little bit on the face. Now with rims like the boost rim, it's an interference fit, it's quite tight, so you'll see when they're sat on there, it needs to click in, okay? And then it's on, so it's not going to be super easy to get them to go on the actual vehicle. So you're going to have to work at it a little bit. So when you're fitting these wheel spacers, just make sure you do a visual check look in here to make sure there's no gap. And you need an interference fit. It needs to be right up against the inside face of the alloy wheel, against that spacer, and just check it all the way around and make sure you've got a good even contact. There we go. Now I don't mind what you say, I think that truck's looking good already. So we're setting off on our trip now. She's looking good. I just can't tell you how much of a difference it makes with that suspension on there. I mean, there's the profile, it sits nice, it doesn't sit too low, but it's an inch drop on the springs, which is about 15mm drop on the actual vehicle. I don't know whether it's a combination of the really tired shocks and springs having come off and the brand new old man new ones going on with those terra firma springs, but it is just probably the most comfortable Defender I think I've ever driven. It's so smooth, it's loads of confidence driving that. I mean, I've been on the motorway doing 70 easy and it is absolutely phenomenal. Well, I don't want to give away too much, although the roof behind me is a bit of a giveaway, but that's pretty much it for that particular episode. But you can see just from looking behind me, we've done loads more, so please do come back for the next episode where we'll be looking at all sorts of things to do with converting our 90 pickup into the county station wagon. So thanks for watching, give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll catch you on the next one.